Can you see it? Zoom in?
Like you literally met someone on a plane. It's like, we know what we want, we know what we deserve, and I'm not gonna sit back and hate my 9-to-5 anymore.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the first to Google that, and I'm not the first to make that mistake, but maybe I am the first to admit this online and have it on the internet forever. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy season 3.
Happy Year of the Rabbit.
Yeah, huge for us.
Huge. Already like an insane month.
Yes, the year has started off in very different directions for the two of us, I feel. In good ways and bad.
In good ways and bad, and I think we're going to get into it. This is a new episode for season 3, Kitchen Sink.
Woohoo!
Hi, my name is Janice.
My name is Emily.
And this is 4 years later, where
we talk about the unglamorous parts about being in our mid-20s as Asian American women, all 4 years after college.
Okay, so we're going to get started because Emily had an extremely good month.
I had a huge month in January. It's been a very exciting start to 2023.
Tell us. Are you going to tell us?
Can you see it?
Zoom in? Can someone zoom in? What the heck? It's so shiny.
Thank you.
Should I get a flashlight out?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, how do I?
Is it getting all the sparkles and all?
Is it? I don't know. Where is it?
Devin,
there.
Devin, can you
Devin, zoom in.
Yes, it's been a very exciting last. I guess. Oh my God! On Tuesday, it'll be a month of being engaged.
Already?
Yes.
Okay, I feel like this month has gone by really quickly.
Yes.
Just because of the pure chaos that's been happening.
I mean, the build up to the proposal was really interesting for the both of us because I kind of knew that it was coming.
No, she knew.
I absolutely knew it was coming. And then you almost didn't make it to my proposal.
Yeah. There's a lot that happened.
Yes.
And so I kind of want to backtrack.
Okay.
Do you want to talk a little bit about like how he proposed, or should we just build up the story and lead into
let's lead into the proposal.
Okay, so Emily and I actually haven't seen each other for a month.
We didn't see each other at Christmas. I think the last was probably in November.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we haven't seen each other for a really long time. Maybe why we're like I'm a little bit discombobulated. Oh my God, is she real? But anyways, I've been in Japan skiing with my family in December, and
I was back home.
Emily was back home. The day that I'm supposed to fly back happens to be the day before Emily's surprise engagement. I thought I was doing a really good job covering it up this whole time, and I was texting her fiance now and being like, I don't think she knows. She has no idea. Like, I'm so good. I've sold it, whatever. Anyways, so then I get to the airport in Japan, and you know at the front desk you're supposed to check in?
Yeah.
She's typing a bunch of things in, and it doesn't work for like 30 minutes, and I ask, is everything okay? She's like, oh yeah, everything's fine. And just something wrong with the computer. She's like pulling people in. Everyone's looking at it. An hour passes by.
You're still up there for an hour?
I'm still standing there, and I'm like, what's going on? What's wrong?
Oh my God.
And she keeps not telling me. Like, everything's fine. We're going to get you checked in soon. Then after an hour and a half, I said, okay, what's happening? What's wrong?
And there's probably a line forming like behind you.
They opened up other desks because of like everything that I was going through.
Yeah.
But my siblings, my parents are already checked in. And everyone's standing there like, are you good, Janice?
Because everyone's going in different places. Everyone's going back home to different places, technically.
Like my sister's going to the Bay Area. My brother is too. And then my parents are going back to Asia. And she goes, we can't find your flight. And my heart drops. Like I'm about to throw up. Of course, this already happened pre-cornea scratch.
Yes.
That's how I started my new year. So
Rip Janice's eye.
I'm like, okay, why can't you find it? She's like, I think they canceled it. And it was United. United had canceled my flight, and they were hiring a partner airline to fly me out of Japan, but they didn't tell me, and they were sending me emails to get ready for my flight, to check in for my flight that they canceled.
Yeah.
I looked it up online. It was gone.
Oh, my God.
And she said, you have to call United to rebook your flight.
Why can't they call United?
Why can't they?
Yeah.
And I said, all I have is Wi-Fi. You expect me to call United right now? And so she does it. And she tries for like another hour.
Yeah.
Finally gets me rebooked on a direct flight to LAX, except it's full by the time she figures out how to rebook it.
Yeah.
Because there's only 2 seats left. Then I'm like, I'm numb at this point. And she rebooks me on a flight to Chicago.
Yeah.
And
not great.
This is the last flight. So if she couldn't do it, I would miss your engagement.
Oh my God. That was the last flight to like the US?
Yes. Like to
my God.
I don't know if it's to the
but to connect back to LA. You needed something that could get you back.
Yes.
Okay. I see.
And that Chicago flight, basically, once I finally got to Chicago, it was like a 3-hour line in customs, and that was the last flight out to make it to LAX. And they lost my luggage in Chicago, so I was like, there's no way I'm making this. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to tell Emily, because then it's going to further sell the fact she's not getting engaged tomorrow.
Yeah.
But little did I know that you knew this whole time.
I knew. Yeah.
So anyways, that was leading up to it. Then I finally got to LA about like 13 hours later than I expected to.
Yeah.
Without my luggage.
Oh, yeah, they lost your luggage.
They lost my luggage. I literally had one clean pair of underwear.
Oh, my God.
It was nothing.
Yeah.
And then it was midnight when I got here. And then I slept for so long because of the time difference.
Yeah.
Woke up in time to drive to your
When did you
engagement.
leave?
What time was okay? So you were supposed to get engaged at 4, so we had to be there around 3:30.
Okay.
And I left at 2.
Oh my God.
And there was traffic.
Of course. Yeah.
And it just took me almost 2 hours to get there. I know. And that's why why your friend that was leading you to the beach, she was postponing it because me and our 2 other friends were late on the road.
Yeah.
And when we finally got there, all I could think was just, thank God.
Thank God you made it.
Thank God I made it.
It's so funny because when you were giving me all your like flight mishaps and everything, I wasn't even like, because I was so confident that I was getting engaged that weekend. I was just like, Janice is going to miss it. She's like going to miss it and it's going to be so bad.
I was going to be so sad.
Yeah, I was like, you're going to be devastated. I remember like telling Barry, I was like, okay, Janice's flight got delayed. And he was like, what? I don't know if you guys are already like
well after because I didn't want to tell Barry first because I knew that you would tell Barry and if you told Barry
in his face
he wouldn't be surprised.
He was like, oh my God, what is she gonna do? And I was trying so hard to hear like any like change in his voice or like panic or anything. He played it pretty cool. I think it was like very normal, like, oh wait, this is really bad, like her flight's delayed, like a normal reaction to that, even if the proposal wasn't happening. So I think he did a good job of like leveling everything out. But no, I was like, she's just gonna miss it and it's gonna be horrible.
I wish now that he delayed it because then you would have been surprised.
Yeah.
This whole time, me and Barry were texting.
Yeah, of course.
And turning off our locations and everything. And one thing we don't have is our Instagram notifications on. And Barry turned it on. And I was like, Barry, turn that off.
Yeah.
So I thought that I was convincing you that it wouldn't be the next day because why would he cut it so close? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I feel like you also like were trying to make plans for us to like plan out season 3 basically. And then the dates that we were like you were picking, you deliberately didn't pick the weekend I thought it was going to be. So I thought you spilled it because I was like, oh, there's no way like it's going to be those weekends because like she's planning something else. And so she already knows that we can't do it on the 7th.
This is my logic. Every time I want to plan an episode with you and we're traveling, you're always like, Janice, take the day, take the weekend to rest. You need a
do.
break, whatever, right?
Yeah,
So I thought it would make sense to you that the day that I land on a Saturday at night, that on Sunday it would take me a day to like unpack, get reset, and whatever.
I love these like little the hoops that we're jumping through.
I told Barry, I was like, should I say that? Should I say, oh, hey, let's not, or like, should we do the 7th? I can do it, so that Emily can be thrown off and say,
I would be so thrown.
Whatever.
I would have been super thrown.
He said that I didn't need to say it because you didn't assume that weekend.
Yeah, I completely knew it would be then. But you know what? The thing about proposals, I feel like if it's like a total surprise, or I guess it depends on the person. Like, I wanted my proposal to be a very specific way.
Yeah.
Like, I really wanted my friends to be there. I wanted it to be, like, photographed. I wanted there to be, like, photographers there so I could, like, remember the moment and everything. And all of that coordination just takes so much planning. And if you live with your partner, like, I just feel like there's no way. And if, like, he was just doing it all on his own accord and it was all his ideas, maybe it wouldn't have been something I would have loved in the end. So it's like, I can't win. I can't expect him to read my mind, right? And like know exactly what I would have wanted. If I had done that, then like maybe, you know, it's like give and take. Like you kind of have to have an inkling.
No, I get it. No matter what, I don't think it's ever going to be a full surprise.
Yeah.
Because you want your nails to be done.
Yes.
You want to wear a nice outfit. If you want a photographer. But the nice outfit and the nails is like a big giveaway for us. Especially when I hang out in my pajamas and someone's like, dress up.
Yeah, like we're looking cute today. When Moet said like, hey, like let's look cute. And I was like, come on. Like
immediately I would assume.
Especially because she said to look cute, and like she always looks cute, but she didn't like extra dress up. And we were going to the beach. I was like, you're wearing like booties. Like she's wearing like heeled boots. And I was like, why would you wear heeled booties if like we were gonna go to the beach and like hang out?
But then why didn't you wear heeled booties if you knew you were gonna get proposed to?
That's a good point. I knew that it was gonna be at the beach though. So I knew that like if I don't know why she wore those regardless.
Yeah, that's really difficult to walk in.
I don't know. I don't know what her plan was there. I was trying to like throw him off a little bit too because I knew. It's not photographed because Barry hates this jacket, and like I found out all my friends hate this jacket. But I was wearing my fleece jacket,
the blue one,
the blue fleece jacket that like no one likes, and Barry's made it so known like I hate this jacket that you have.
I know he hates it.
So I put it on as I was like getting ready to leave for the beach, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna wear it. And he was like,
why are you such an instigator? You're literally giving him more of a heart attack than less. Like you're having fun with it.
I kind of was having. I was like, oh, I kind of want to wear it. He's like, I don't know if you should wear it. And I was like, I'm going to the beach and I'm gonna be really cold, so I need to wear it. And he was like,
what were you expecting him to do?
I don't know. I was just I wanted to see
Emily, you're getting married.
Yeah, I wanted to be like, wait. I think because like the day before he kind of threw me off with the outfit because he told me I should wear white when I was going out to dinner the day before with my friend. So I was like, I need to wear white. And that day I got my nails done too. So I was like, it could happen Friday night. So then he kind of threw me off with the white shirt thing. But then, you know, the night came and it went and it didn't happen. So I was like, okay, it's going to be today.
Damn. I wish I did more to throw you off.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean,
I just didn't want to mess with it because he was like so confident and sure that you didn't know what date it was.
Yeah.
That I felt like if I said something, I would mess it up, and then you would figure out.
Yeah,
it's for sure this.
You never wanted to be you that dropped too many hints, so I think you played it really safe.
Exactly,
you did a good job.
And I was scared if I was late to the proposal.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
You and I would be walking to the beach at the same time.
Yep.
And then
you're like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Why are we at the same exact beach at the same exact time?
It's over. Game over then.
I mean, it worked out.
All
my friends were there. The photographers were
sobbed.
there. I was crying really hard. It was beautiful. He did a really good job.
It was a really sweet moment. And all the friends were hiding behind trash cans.
Yeah. Everyone was hiding.
Trash cans on the beach. And we waited for like 20 minutes for you to walk all the way to tower
whatever. Yeah, there's a certain marker that we had to get to
something. Yeah. And Barry was so nervous. The behind the scenes was like Barry walking back and forth,
he
waiting
was
for
really
you,
nervous.
looking up. And I was just waving at him from behind the trash cans, and he smiled and waved back at me. It was really sweet.
Yeah.
And then everyone was looking for you. Like, where's Emily? Is she coming? And suddenly someone was like, oh, she's here. She's coming. And everyone went really, really quiet behind the trash can.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
And then you walked up to Barry, and then he was saying something to you, and you were crying. And then he went down on a knee, and I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful.
Yeah. You know what's funny that we did?
What?
We practiced. I had him practice going down on one knee.
Why?
Because there's this thing of like, you can propose incorrectly.
What?
Because like, okay, when guys get down on one knee, if their knee is not a perfect like 90-degree angle,
they'll fall over.
It just looks weird. It looks like kind of chuggy. If their leg is like weirdly I'm not doing it right, but you know what I mean? Like weirdly like slanted.
No,
like
I've never heard of this.
The way that his knee looked. So we practiced it like a weeks before it was gonna happen. I was like, I think you should just like make sure you know how to do it and like it looks good for the pictures. And so he was practicing, and it was like great. But then like the day of, the photographer said, "Oh wait, you need to go down on this knee." I don't remember which knee it was.
The other one,
but it was the opposite one that he'd been practicing. So he fucked it up. So the pictures, his like knee, it's like this, and I was like, no.
I didn't even notice. I thought it looked so good.
Yeah, I did a good job, but
wait, so it has to be both 90-degree angles?
No, just the one knee that's up needs to be at a like good 90-degree, or it looks kind of weird. It just looks like awkward because they're not like fully balanced. I'm trying to picture it in my head,
like if you're the bent knee.
Yeah.
Well, both are bent, but the one in the front.
The one in the front just needs to be a really nice, stable 90 degrees.
Okay, because it would be awkward if it was protruding outwards.
Correct.
Like an obtuse angle. Acute. So
yeah,
inwards.
Because your knee is like this, right? It's like too bent. It's like overly bent. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, wait, dude. Does that happen? I
yeah,
feel like
guys do that.
That's not a stable standing ground.
I don't know. I've just seen like girls on TikTok like talk about like they really want their man to be like looking good for the proposal. Otherwise, it can look kind of like
okay. So the guy needs to have good knees,
good
and
knees,
a good stance,
and a good stable.
Lunges.
Yes, practicing your lunges.
Okay.
That would be really good. Which he did, and then
he was just so nervous.
He was nervous.
The sand. The sand is not
the sand.
It's not floor.
Yeah,
you know, once you go in, it caves in too.
Yeah, that's true. That's really nice of you to say in his defense, because I was like, oh God. Okay, you know what? I'm being a little over exaggerated.
Wait, so when he went down on a knee, you noticed that or no?
No, I didn't notice it.
Okay.
I think it was just the photos after, and I was like, what happened?
It's the sand.
It's the sand. He did his best,
and
it worked out.
The moment was not taken away, right?
No, the moment was not taken away. It was still really beautiful. It was like almost sunset, right? It was like 3:30 or something.
Yes, it was perfect golden hour.
It was really good timing on his part. He definitely did his homework in terms of like when the sun was setting. So turned out beautiful.
Can we also talk about the dinner afterwards?
The dinner afterwards
was
unbelievable.
Amazing.
Yes. We went to like a Southeast Asian restaurant. Like Barry did like a prefix menu and like planned everything. It was delicious.
It was so good. There was so much food left over.
Yeah.
But it was just the best meal I've ever had.
Right? Yeah. We should go again very soon.
I kind of want to now that Barry's taking us there. And then the bar across after.
Yeah. We went to like a wine bar after and like you couldn't go, which is totally fine.
Because my suitcase arrived.
Yes! It was very like high highs, low lows that week, you know?
I think if we had to capture January, it would be high highs for you all around. Everything that happened in January for you was kind of great, right?
I mean, yes and no.
Oh.
I mean, we talked about it kind of. Just like, I feel like I have a very interesting predicament when it comes to like me getting engaged.
That's true.
Which I can share a little bit about it, I guess. Like, it's just been tough for me to visualize a really key moment in your life that you look forward to. Like, your whole life, you like think of, or I thought about my proposal my whole entire life. And without having my parents, like, to kind of give that like, oh, like, approval. I don't know. And not that I didn't get it from my mom, but I think I still look for that validation from her and from my dad that I wasn't able to have.
That's totally valid. And I can't imagine what it's like because we grew up, even in movies, watching the perfect wedding.
Yeah.
Every wedding, even though it can look slightly different, it's always like the mom saying, going dress shopping, the like all of that.
It's all, family is so intertwined in like getting married or even just getting engaged. So many traditions that like Barry wasn't able to like ask for permission, you know, my parents and like things like that, where it made the whole process like,
or call your parents after you get married or get engaged.
Yeah, couldn't do that. So it made the apprehension or like just the anticipation of like getting engaged like feel a little like, oof, like this kind of sucks. Like, right?
I get it.
So,
and it's also not just the engagement, because what happens after you get engaged, you're starting to plan a wedding, and then you get, so it's all of that comes.
It was all looming. It was all looming in the back of my mind. Like, okay, I'm gonna have to like start thinking about these really big decisions that in my mind I had planned. Like my whole life, I thought I knew like all these like intimate details of my wedding, and now all those plans are just. I'm like, I kind of feel like I'm starting over. Like I'm restarting to think about getting married in like a very different way, which is cool. I think it's the only way that I'm going to be able to get through the wedding. Through the wedding. I think the marriage part's the easy part, right? Because it's Barry and I love him, and that's not what I'm worried about. But it is crazy. Like every milestone that comes, it's like tainted a little bit for me.
You definitely have to rewire your vision or what you expected, because you did have your parents integrated in all of these experiences, and now you have to think about what it looks like without that.
Yeah.
And I can only imagine a lot of it is the validation and the security, right? And you don't really have people that love you, but not in the same way that your parents can never be replaced. And so that trying to have to navigate not having that validation, the security, or the perspective or the words or advice that they would have for you.
It's easier to think like your parents. It's like, okay, I don't have to think twice about like just messaging them for like anything. Like if they're just there. But then having to like be like, okay, wait, I kind of want advice on this. But like if I want to ask a family member, it's like an aunt or an uncle. And in that case, it's not the same. Like it almost sometimes feels like I'm burdening them to be constantly like wanting to tell them or ask them advice for something. Because with your parent, it's like, of course they want to do that. But it's like different.
I get it.
They have their own lives. They have their own families. Like I'm kind of like an extended extension of that, but it still feels like, okay, I need to like, I can't always just be like messaging them all the time, like asking them for advice, because I'm the niece, you know?
Does it feel different with your Nana?
With my Nana, I feel like it feels a little easier just to like tell her stuff, but also like, I don't know, the way that weddings worked, like when I asked her advice about her own wedding, like how did she do things? It's just so different, right? Like she got married like so long ago. And so when I do ask her, it's like, oh, well, what did you do after you got married? Like, oh, we went out to dinner and it was really expensive because she was like, we paid $3 a head. And she's like, and that was so expensive for us back then. And I'm like, it's interesting to hear her talk about it, but
it's a different perspective.
Totally different experience for her. So yeah, it's just been like something that has been tough to go through. And I feel like when you tell someone like I'm getting engaged, and like my coworkers were so nice to me and they were all like asking me all these questions. And I was like, I like am excited to be engaged, but also I'm really sad that I'm not able to like share it with people that I really wanted to share it with. And so, but how do you explain that to someone, right? To be like, yeah, it's like universally supposed to be like a nice and exciting thing, but I have this thing that makes it
just a thing,
a small thing that makes it not as exciting.
I get it. Yeah. And it's hard too to find people that understand, because in your 20s, this like experience that you're going through is so particular.
Yes. And it's not very relatable.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I get that.
But I think it's still important because it shows the unglamorous, right? The things that you're actually going through. And even if it's a different perspective, it's like another hurdle that you have to overcome while you're dealing with the stress of all the regular wedding engagement stuff, which I have no idea what it is because...
Not yet.
I mean, we first need to find a person.
Well,
and then
that's fair. I feel like you had like an unbelievable meet cute like in January, despite all your craziness.
You're right.
You had like the quintessential meet cute that everyone wants to have.
I did not expect it to happen because
No one expects it, and then it happens.
Yeah, you're totally right. Nothing's come out of it though.
But it still feels like a kind of like a rom-com like starting scene.
Some guy on the airplane asked for my number.
Wasn't just like any guy though. He was like a good-looking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm on a 11-hour flight to Japan from LA.
Yeah.
And nobody, well, I'm not going to dress up for an 11-hour.
Yeah,
the flight boards at midnight too. So I'm not
it's like a red eye almost.
Yeah. So why would I have like a full face of makeup or any makeup? I had my face routine on already.
Oh, nice.
And I went on the airplane and I was like, I'm going to sleep.
Yep.
And I took a melatonin.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was wearing like a giant sweater to keep me warm.
Yeah.
And then t-shirt inside and then sweatpants.
Okay.
And snow boots because I was like, I'm going to get off the plane.
Yeah.
It's going to be snowing. So my snow boots are not cute.
Okay.
Basically, they don't look cute. And I get on the flight. I don't even think I told you this story because we were saving it for this. Okay, so I get on the flight and the plane, everyone's like getting ready to board. And so he plugged his charger in, but it wasn't working, his phone charger.
Okay.
And so he turned around and he was like, hey, is your phone charger working? He's sitting next to me, by the way. And I was like, I haven't tried. So I tried and I don't know. I didn't plug my phone in, but I was like, here, you can use it if yours is broken. And he was like, oh, that's really nice, but I just wanted to see if it works. And I said, I think it's not working because the plane hasn't taken off yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first thing he said to me.
Okay.
And then that was the end of the conversation for a little bit. Then we take off and I want to go to sleep.
Yep.
And the seat next to him is empty, so there's an extra pillow.
Oh, nice.
So I asked him, hey, if you're not going to use that pillow, can I have it? And he's like, sure. And he gives it to me, right? I think a normal interaction when someone gives you something is like, thank you, that's it.
And that's it.
But he's like, these pillows are kind of uncomfortable.
Oh my God!
So in my head, I'm like, is he trying to talk to me?
He's trying to talk
or
to you.
am I just, it's late, I'm thinking too much about this. And he's just a nice guy.
Yeah.
He's just a nice guy that
good-looking guy
is trying to be empathetic.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, they're super uncomfortable.
You're having pillow talk and it's the first time.
Pillow talk! That's good.
Thank you.
So I say something like, yeah, it's super uncomfortable. Thank you for the pillow, whatever. And then it just dies there.
Okay.
And then we go to sleep.
Yeah.
I wake up. I like do my face routine again. I go back to my seat. Thank you. Wow. I'm really trying.
Yeah.
And he wakes up and he's like, he goes to the bathroom, then comes back and he says, do you know how long we've slept for?
Oh my God.
But that to me immediately was like, he's trying to have a conversation.
Yeah.
Because
that is totally opening up the gates.
I don't know when you fell asleep.
Yeah.
How am I supposed to know?
Right. I'm not tracking your sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
And you also slept later than me, so like I wouldn't be able to give you that answer. Yeah. So instead I was just like, oh, I don't really know. I don't even know how long this flight is. And then he was like, oh, I think it's 11 hours. And
my God.
he was like, I think we slept for 9 hours. And I was like, okay, so
9 hours?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I don't actually know if it was 9.
Okay.
I think maybe it was like 7 or 8. But anyways, in my head, this is what my thought process was. Okay, if the flight is 11 hours and we slept for 9 hours, there's only 2 hours left.
Correct.
I can handle a conversation with him for 2 hours.
Yes.
If it goes bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's exactly what I did.
Love that.
But it turns out it was kind of a good conversation. We just talked about, I think the first thing I asked him was, oh, are you going home? Are you flying home? Mm-hmm. And then he was talking about how he actually lives in Newport. Mm-hmm. All these things. Mm-hmm. Talked about music, whatever. Mm-hmm. I was shocked that this was happening the
Yeah.
entire time.
Yeah. Well, okay. I wanted to say, like, you did give me a heads up there because you were like walking into your seat, I think, when you first boarded, and you're like, Emily, like, there's like a really cute boy on my flight. And I remember reading that and being like, okay, Janice, like, okay, I don't know what to do with the information. But then you're like, wait, like, I'm sitting next to him. And then I was like, okay, I'm a little intrigued. Like, you're sitting next to him. And then I'm still just like, okay, whatever. Like, you're sitting next to him, whatever.
It was, Emily, not everything I text you goes anywhere. It's just a fact. I'm sharing my life with you.
Yeah, I know, but I was just like, okay, like, is this gonna turn into something? Like, do I need to be like really tuned into this? Like, how much do I need to know about this guy? Like, do I want to ask more about this guy? And in my head, I'm like, no, I don't really care about this guy. Like, you're probably not gonna talk to him. But then the next text was like, we're talking, and I lost my mind. Like, I don't know where I was. And I was like, I think I looked at my phone. I saw that you said you're talking to him. I'm like, Barry, Janice is living out like every girl's dream right now. Like, you literally met someone on a plane. Like, everyone thinks that. Like, and like, what are the chances that you're sitting next to him in the same row? There's no one else in between you. You're the same age. Like, you're in the same area.
No, he's like a year younger.
He's a little younger, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. Like, this is like what you see someone in the waiting area that's your age. You're just like, I don't even care if you're like cute or not. I kind of want to like date you and like be with you.
Yeah, no, you don't think about any of that.
And then you're like on the same row, and then you're like talking, and then
I didn't even think of it like that.
Just saying, you know, I just feel like it's very much like a fantasy that you're living.
I mean,
Continue your story.
you're right up until, so then basically the flights ended and he's like, oh, what's your number? Maybe we can link up. I give him my number.
Yeah, huge. No, not even Instagram, not Snapchat, just like give me your number.
Yeah. And okay, wait,
What a gentleman.
I don't think I told you this, but I have a connecting flight that I have like an hour and a half to get on board for, and I have to change terminals, do all this bullshit.
Yeah.
And
he was also on the connecting flight.
he wasn't.
Oh.
So he lands in Tokyo, and he's there because he's half Japanese, so he has a passport, and this is important. And he lives there, and his family's there, or not lives there, but you get it.
Yeah.
So in the terminal, when you get out through customs, it's like Americans and then local or citizens and visitors,
Okay,
right? So he goes through the citizen line, which
yeah.
is so fast because it's just a machine. But I have to line up.
Yeah.
And it's taking like 30 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
Then I get on the Wi-Fi because you need to access certain things. I need to text my parents that I'm home.
Yeah.
And I get a text from him. And it's like, hey, I know you're in a rush, so baggage claim is on carousel, whatever.
Oh, that's so nice.
I just wanted to make sure, like, I know you're really
Yeah.
stressed out about it. No, what? Like, I did not expect that.
That's wild.
And then I see him there
Oh
because
my God, 'cause
he's waiting
he's
for his
waiting.
luggage. Not for me. He's waiting for
Right.
He's waiting.
You both had.
He's waiting for his luggage.
Got it.
Okay. And then
That's crazy. That's so nice.
and then I get my luggage and I have to leave, and he's like, bye, and he leaves too.
Did he give you a hug or anything?
Yes, he gave
Oh
me
my
a
God,
hug.
he gave you a hug. Okay. All right.
Wait, what does the hug mean?
I don't know. I just feel like if it was like whatever, I would just been like, bye, like just wave bye.
Oh, but at that point we were talking for like 3 hours. I feel like you're just like,
You're just
bye.
connected.
You know,
it was
what I
like a
mean?
quick hug or
quick hug,
quick kiss on the cheek, and then
yeah,
it's like
exactly.
That's crazy because okay, anyways, but he didn't.
No, I also think that's kind of gross. 'cause,
COVID,
like,
weird, yeah.
we've been on a flight for 11
Kinda
hours.
gross, yeah.
Okay, so then the 2 weeks that I was in Japan with my family, we were texting like once a day.
Yeah.
And then I came back, or he came back first, and then I came back. He followed me on Instagram.
Huge. So he just found you.
I
guess because your number was already connected, it's easier to find? Or he just like, how did he know your last name?
I texted it.
Oh.
I'm OCD. When I say someone's number, I want the full name.
Yeah.
Because
That's
like,
fair. You want the first and last.
yes.
Yeah, I get that.
How many Alexes do I know? How many Johns do I know? How many whatever?
His name is not Alex or
John.
Yeah. Okay.
So I can't find
Let's
him.
just, yeah.
But anyways, it goes nowhere. Like, it's just been texting.
Wait, are you still texting?
He replied to one of my stories, so yes.
Oh, okay. There's something.
It's still continuing.
Hanging by a thread, but it's there.
Yeah, but it's like, I think I've given him opportunities to be like, whatever, like.
Let's hang out.
Yes, but nothing.
But nothing.
And my other friend suggested that I ask him out. she's like, why don't you? If you care so much, why don't you? It doesn't matter. It's
But do you
2023.
care?
And the thing is, that's exactly what I said. I was like, but I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, this has been an incredible story to say that I had a movie meet cute where
nothing happened.
a boy talked to, nothing happened. We didn't fall in love and get married, but like,
But it's okay.
the chances of this happening,
Very slim.
I was shocked.
Yeah. I think it's like one of those things where it didn't harm you. Like it didn't like break your heart. And like you guys are still like friends, I guess, on like Instagram and stuff. So there's really no harm, no foul. Like it was kind of a cool story and it happened and now we get to talk about it. And
I just don't understand why he said like, can we meet up or link up if it wasn't actually going to happen. But it's totally fine. He asked me if I'm going to Coachella.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. It was a fun story.
Yeah, it's a great story. It's like much better than just like, I feel like there's so many bad date situations that like, you know, it's better to have.
And considering what had happened with that date that I was set up on, all the stuff that transpired, I feel like I did not expect this to happen. And it was a nice way to pull me out of that.
Agreed.
I will say I'm super shocked because of how gross I looked. That I like.
I'm sure it wasn't that bad.
Okay, if I was like this on an airplane, I'd be like, yes, totally, someone could potentially maybe talk to me. But if I was in my full,
what was your hair
I'm
like?
about in a bun.
Okay, and you had your boots on, and you had like a jacket on.
Yeah, my glasses, like my
but
face
glasses
routine.
Are cute, though. Glasses are cute.
I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't really think that was the moment. Like, I was fully dressed to go to sleep.
Maybe it's like one of those things where everyone always says like you always meet someone when you like
least
aren't
expect
looking
it
for it, and then it like it just happens to appear, and you're like, ah.
Yeah, that's exactly. When I woke up, I was like, oh my God. I'm sitting next to a cupola and I look like gross. It's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And then every time he's talking to me, in my head, I was just like, why is he talking to me?
Yeah.
Imposter syndrome.
I guess so. But
so there was that.
Cool. Yeah. So that was a highlight of January.
That was a highlight. The low lights. Oh my gosh.
So many. I feel like the real turn of events was like with work stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think everything really led up to the work stuff. But I do want to say that this is so embarrassing, and so I didn't tell you. I like purposely didn't tell you. So you know how I blocked
Yes.
X?
Yes.
The reason that I finally blocked him wasn't because, so I made a whole big deal about how I don't want to block him because I want to know I'm mentally strong enough to not have feelings and be attached and not care.
Yeah.
Even though we do follow each other. And I still stand by that. And I only blocked him because I was doing something really unhealthy that
doing?
I was scared to tell you about. I was like always looking at his profile, like even though I had no feelings, right?
Yeah.
And I was detached, I knew nothing was ever going to happen again. I think it was just the curious part of me where I'm like, I wonder how he's moved on. Like the tea side where you just want to know the gossip.
How often were you looking at his profile?
Maybe like, I don't
Once
want
a
to.
day?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe like once a week.
Okay.
It wasn't terrible. Then it got to like a irregular schedule where it was like once a month, once every something. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's not horrible.
Okay, but when I did that, I would like look through the tagged photos because he doesn't actually post any photos, right?
So you're like
So I
manically
would look
looking
through the tagged photos. But I'm pretty sure he filters those out, so there was never an update. But one day I was looking at an older picture, like 2021 or something.
Oh, do you like it?
Accidentally!
You liked
it? His friends too.
Oh my god.
I screamed out loud. I was so embarrassed, but then I was like, oh my God, he's going to get a notification. I unliked it. His friend's going to get a notification. But his friend is like the gossip queen, the chatterbox, whatever. The one that like talks all the time.
Oh my god.
And I freaked out. Because I was like,
When was this? When did you do this?
in Japan.
Oh my God.
So then I unliked it and then I Googled it. Like, what happens when you like it and unlike it on Instagram?
It doesn't show up. It won't show up if they're not online.
It doesn't show up as a activity or notification, but it'll go away.
Yes.
But it will still show up in his activities.
No, it won't.
Yes, that's what Instagram said. That it will show up
if he goes and looks at his notifications
inside Instagram. That it will show up.
Oh my God.
And I was like, there's no running away from this. Like, it's out there.
I practiced doing this with a friend to see, like, if I went and liked it and then unliked it immediately, like, if it would show up, and it didn't show up for me.
Okay, wait. Try it. Oh, we can't try it.
We can't try it.
Okay, we'll try it later.
Yeah. But I'm, like, pretty sure it won't show up. The only way it would show up is if that friend was on Instagram and the notification came through.
True.
So you better hope that they weren't on Instagram.
That's
but
what
I think it wouldn't have showed up for you.
But I read that it stays in one place. Like, if you look at that place, it'll stay there, but it'll go away in another place.
I wonder if you checked who liked it. No, that wouldn't show up after. Okay, we'll have to figure it out. But holy crap, I can't believe you did that.
So I'm like, oh, he knows. Like, there is no way he's not going to know about this.
Yeah, he knows.
Which is why I'm broadcasting it on live television now. It's not television, but like, like even if he sees this, he already knows.
He already knows.
And that was the moment, a turning point in my life where I asked
a pivotal moment in my life.
Janice, what the hell are you doing with your life?
Yeah.
And I just seemed like, I felt like such a crazy person. I was embarrassed to admit it to you because then it would mean, like, am I over him? Like, what am I doing?
What does it mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
All this stuff. Like, just the fact that I did that. Like, I'm such a boomer.
It's okay.
Not a boomer, just fat fingers.
Yeah.
So anyways, that was the moment where I was like, I literally threw my phone across the room.
I was going to ask if you threw, I would have fucking threw my phone too.
I was like, I'm not touching this. This is so dangerous right now. And then I thought about it. I think this was New Year's Eve or something.
Yeah.
So then I was like, Janice, do we really want to start 2023 like this?
Right.
Where we are still doing this.
Yeah.
You're still giving yourself the opportunity to accidentally like it. And like, where is this going? You know it's not going anywhere. You know nothing's ever going to happen between the two of you. So like, why?
Yeah.
Right? And so to avoid the fat finger mistake again, I decided that.
Yeah.
And to avoid feeling embarrassed again.
Yeah.
And just to really make sure that I stop this habit and just move on with my life. I blocked him.
Good for you. She did it, everyone. She blocked him.
I find Emily's right. I still stand by the fact that, like, you don't have to block him.
Yeah.
But I think for my sake, I'm someone who's we're curious people.
We're curious people. I also just feel like you can have this, like, period of time where you really do feel like it's not an option for you. You don't want to block them yet. And then move on to, your priorities change, the way that you're thinking about the situation changes, you're healing and stuff. And it's like, okay, I'm at this point where now it's not benefiting me to continue having him there.
True.
It can serve you in some ways, and then time change, things change.
Yes, I like that. That the circumstances change where I feel like I need to block him.
Yeah.
And but it's not, I feel like a lot of people attach blocking your ex with toxic behaviors or just hate for each other or something.
I did for a long time, yeah.
But I'm blocking him because I don't care. Like, nothing bad has happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's just the fact I realize this is a habit I don't want to continue. How do I force myself to quit this habit?
Yeah.
It's to block.
Yeah. I think it's like another lesson in boundaries too, blocking. And it's like something that we're not, well, I mean,
you blocked.
But it took a long time for me to be okay with setting that boundary. It took like years for me to finally do that.
Years? Wait.
Yeah, it took a long time. After all the shitty things that happened.
You still didn't?
I didn't. We were like friends, which was even worse. But we were like friends for like years. For like 3 years. afterwards.
What made you decide to finally block him?
I think just like kind of a similar situation that you're talking about now.
Where you
Like,
just don't care?
Like nothing new had happened. It was just like,
You were sick of it.
and also like what, like it's not serving me to continue to have that person in my life that caused all that like pain. And it's like, what am I like? What's the purpose of this? Then?
Yes.
Right.
Where's the value add?
Yeah. It's not really like probably good for me, and I probably need to have like that clear, intentional separation for myself. So I think it was very similar, where it's like there's like time that's passed where nothing actually happens, but there's a lot of like internal work that like we're doing to be like, okay, I think I'm gonna do this for myself so that, you know, I do have that clear cut, like I'm intentionally working on this.
Okay, now that you say that, I also think blocking helps with protecting your energy and time.
Yeah.
Because purposely seeing his profile and tag pictures and all that takes like a lot of energy and time. But also if I see something or accidentally like and unlike a photo, it takes me time and energy to get over that situation where I could be putting that towards something else, like going to hang out with my family in the living room instead of sitting in bed.
Yeah. Looking and being like, I agree. And I don't think like, and if you hadn't blocked that person and then they show up on your like timeline and everything, it's like, you're really not gonna like go back to their profile. You're eliminating the opportunity for you to be able to like go to their profile. And I have to say, like, since blocking this person for me, I have had zero urge to go and check their profile. I have not done it. I don't really care to. I don't really.
Because it's not going to change anything in your life except maybe be more negative. Like add something negative to it.
It would only add something negative. So I think that it's actually been great because I was talking to Moet about it last night and she was like asking me about it. And I was like, I think I'm good. Like, it's kind of nice.
Do you ever think about him? Like, it just pops up. You're like, I wonder how he's doing.
Yeah, I think I do. And I was like talking to my therapist about it. Okay. About like what does that mean if that's happening? And she was saying it's just like someone that was in your life and now they're not. And so you can't help but like it does come there. She's like, but it's not influencing you to do anything. It's not influencing like my life in any way. If it's just coming and going, it's like that's just the way our brains work. Right?
Yeah, no, you're right. And I think it's just the curiosity aspect, but not everything in our being us. We love to overanalyze every situation. Like, what does this mean? What does whatever? Yeah. But sometimes it's just like something that comes and goes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's pretty normal. Like, it's not something that takes up like a lot of brain space for me. So it's good.
Well, I'm glad I was able to be vulnerable and share everything that I'm embarrassed about. Now the whole world knows what I did.
I know.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure I'm not the first to Google that, and I'm not the first to make that mistake, but maybe I am the first to admit this online and have it on the internet forever.
It's okay. I think it's relatable. It's totally relatable.
It's so embarrassing.
It's okay. I think we've all been there. I think I've been there before too. Accidentally liking something. So I think it's good that we're going into 2023 with this like cleansed palette. Like we're going into season 3 of our podcast with like new priorities and like a lot of exciting things to come, I think. So I'm glad that January is behind us.
Me too.
And
I think this new year should be really intentional.
Yes.
And everything I do, I want to make sure that there's a purpose. Yeah. There's a meaning, and I'm putting my time and my energy into things that I value.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the last thing I kind of want to touch on before we talk about work was that conversation that you were looped into, or you were caught in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, we obviously don't have to keep this part.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to give a brief background? Because I feel like you might be able to summarize pre this group chat.
Yeah.
What happened.
Basically, like, I have a friend who wanted to basically like get to know Janice a little bit more. Their meeting like just didn't amount to like anything extraordinary. Wasn't gonna work out.
Yeah.
And so when you kind of like let him know that your priorities in life were kind of like shifting more towards work and like not really like super hardcore wanting to like date someone, especially because you weren't quite sure what you wanted to do. So
I think he took that kind of as an excuse
yeah.
of me not wanting to be specifically with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
It's a normal excuse to
Yeah.
use work
Mm-hmm.
as a reason why you can't see someone.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically for me, and I thought I had made it really genuine and clear
Yeah.
in my paragraph text that it wasn't that case. It was that I was genuinely unsure about my job, potentially going to lose my job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And because he was your friend too, I think you tried to explain that to him, like, this is not the type of person she is.
Yeah.
And he kind of already had his mindset. So we just didn't speak for about 2 months.
Yeah.
And I think we were both clear at the end. It wasn't going to work out. Last week,
Just kind of created a little rogue group chat with the three of us
knowing and warning Emily that she would be a casualty.
in this group chat. Yeah.
And that's when I got kind of protective and fierce because he didn't know this, but
Yeah.
something important was happening on that day for you, a big day.
Yeah.
And I was like, how dare you ruin that, make Emily the casualty on that day and try to start drama. But also, why is that the first thing you say to me?
Yeah.
Not acknowledging everything that.
Else that's happened.
Yes.
Yeah.
And why? Like, what is the point of that?
Yeah. I guess like the broader question is like guys just have so much confidence and like so much arrogance in general that like if something just like falls apart, instead of thinking, oh, maybe like she doesn't want to be with me anymore, it's like, I'm just gonna try again. I'm just gonna like keep trying until it like eventually works out. And I feel like, Mark and I were talking about that last night about like that idea of like going after someone like over and over and over.
Yeah.
Is that attractive to women? And I was saying no, like I think it gives me the ick kind of.
I think it depends. Like the way that we had ended initially was not good.
Yeah.
So, and I thought he made it clear he wasn't going to talk to me again. And that was fine with me, right? But I had accepted that. And then you come back and try to start chaos without addressing anything that was said or done before.
Yeah.
That's an ick to me.
Yeah.
And I think in college, I would have entertained it because I'm bored.
Yeah.
I just want to see what happens. But now in my life,
like, this is weird.
I'm not going to spend energy, drama, time, whatever, into this situation that's going to go nowhere and make me more mad.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to loop you into it again because that's going to jeopardize not just his relationship with you and it's our relationships.
Yeah.
Because you're like, Janice, what are you doing right now? But if it's a guy that, a girl's maybe shy or resistant, but nothing bad has happened between her and the guy. I think if he pushes a little harder,
it's okay.
It's not an ick.
Yeah. I guess so.
My ex kind of did that.
Oh.
My first ex.
Yeah. And then it ended up working out. Oh, okay.
It was a year in between.
Oh.
And I realized I liked him. And that's when he tried again. And it worked out for 4 years.
For 4 years. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I feel like if the girl, though, is giving signs.
Yes.
Like, not even like a big sign, but just kind of being like, you've tried a few times and like, I'm not reciprocating. Yes. I don't want you to keep trying. But guys do that.
Like Magic Mike Dude.
Like Magic Mike Dude. And then we were talking about Singles Inferno.
Oh, I don't watch that.
Okay. In both seasons, the top girl or whatever, like ends up picking this guy that's pining for her like the whole time. And then like,
do they stay together?
I don't think they stay together, to be honest. But like she had, basically said she never picked the other guy. And then at the very end, like she picked him because he was so persistent. But she had also shown, like, I don't like you. Like, I don't want, I'm not picking you to do anything together.
Was she rejected by other dudes that she
No.
was attracted to?
No, she had a lot of guys. Both situations, like, had, like, options.
Because I would think maybe it's a security or confidence issue. But
Right,
like
but no, she had a lot of options, and she ended up picking the guy that kept trying and trying and trying. And I guess, I don't know if it's like a cultural thing for like Korea or what it is.
Yeah.
But I get so like, I'm like, this is so cringe to watch this.
Yeah, I don't know if I would do. It's the effort, I guess.
Yeah.
We're both on the same page on this.
Yeah.
Like a lot of things. Like we agree.
We're on the same page.
We
Yes.
agree on a lot of things, and I think I can't understand that, honestly.
No, it is really weird. And like, I think we were saying too last time, like, oh, it's like just the premise of the game and of like the show, like it's a week or however long it is on the island. Like, I guess it's kind of cool that this person's like pining for you
like
on the
flattery.
show. Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, like I like it. But in the real world, like how does that translate? Creepy and weird.
Yeah, I would be really.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yes,
Yeah.
because if he keeps doing that, I'm like, I don't know what else I can say for you to back off.
And
but
now you're like,
it's getting too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, but there are. I mean, have you ever gone on a date with a guy that was like just? I mean, Magic Mike guy,
Magic
like very
Mike guy.
persistent. I had this guy that I went on, I think 2 dates with, and I had my rule where like, if it's it's really that bad of a first date, like maybe it was just the first date was just bad, and maybe I would give him another chance for the second date. So I did that, and I gave him another chance for the second date, which I did not really like. And then afterwards, like he would consistently like message me to like hang out again, and I was like, no, this is gross. Like I don't like this anymore. And then it was just over.
But how did he get the cue that it was over? How did you send that cue?
I don't know. I might have ghosted. But then after like one message, right, you would think that like he wouldn't try again because I was ghosting him.
That's true.
But then he tried again like a month later.
Maybe he thought you were at a different place in your life.
In my life, I've had huge
because we know
Yeah.
a month can do a lot.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Okay.
guys,
Camera died.
because we've been chatting
Yeah.
forever.
Yes.
Oh, we were talking about guys being really, really persistent.
Oh,
even though
yeah.
we were sending cues.
Yes, all the cues, or like you would think you send all the cues, and then they just keep coming back, and it's like that's some pretty hefty confidence, which I don't personally have, and I couldn't take that letdown if it didn't work out. But yeah, I guess I don't know. It's the arrogance of the Asian man, I guess in my case.
This is a generalization, I realize, but I do think that that's a thing where guys oversell themselves and girls undersell themselves. Like when I write an email, I'm always thinking about, oh, should I put an exclamation mark?
point?
Should I put an emoji in
Yeah.
my chats? Like, and then when I'm talking about my feelings, and I think this is a good segue into the work thing that happened with me, which is that I got a bad performance review that was unfair.
Yeah.
I've never said that in my life because I am really critical of myself. And I know a lot of people are going to say, you probably deserved it and you didn't, and your ego's hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people are going to shit on me.
Yeah.
But I am someone that has always undersold myself, and I'm super critical of myself. And when someone gives me bad feedback, usually I agree and I take it.
Yeah.
But this time I really do think it was unfair.
Yeah.
It came out of
It
nowhere.
was totally unfair. Yeah.
I've asked for feedback before and it was never in this context. And the most recent time my manager gave me feedback was in December before she went on PTO and then came back and the narrative completely changed.
Yeah.
So what I was kind of going to say is that when I contested the bad feedback, I noticed myself always saying, well, I felt a little frustrated.
Yeah.
I felt a little confused. Always trying to undersell how I actually feel when I wanted to say, like, I was angry. I was pissed off.
Yeah.
This is totally unfair. But even when the airplane guy, I was like, I look shitty. Why is he talking to me?
Yeah.
I don't think guys
They don't
think
ever
the same
think that
way.
way. Yeah.
Like,
They're
I
always
can
thinking
get
I'm at the top of my game, like no matter what, whether I'm on
everything I'm
meeting
doing is
someone
amazing.
or if I'm at work, like their presentation was amazing, or if it was really bad, it's like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's always the overconfidence, like,
and it
thing.
shocks me. Like, we need to start as women leveling up to that level where I'm just delusionally confident about everything I do.
Yes. Another thing to manifest for this year.
You're right.
Yeah.
But kind of going into work, I got a bad performance review. And then my manager told me that she was going to quit and left the week of.
Kind of started a fire and just like, peace.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I felt like this performance review was a lot about hanging the things that she wasn't able to accomplish onto me. And what sucks about this performance review is that this one was the official one that went into the system. And so I was upset about everything that was said, not being able to defend myself, and then having this one be the one that everyone above me, whoever's my new manager, is going to have to read. So I broke down.
Yeah.
And
understandably.
I thought a lot about just what was happening and how to approach it. And I came to the conclusion that I needed to speak with the head of the team.
Yes.
And then I spent the last week figuring out how to deliver that message in a way that was constructive and productive.
Yeah.
And playing the corporate game and using my time to do that takes away from my values, I guess, because I'm like, I'm spending a whole week not doing any job, not making an impact because I have to figure out how to soften my rhetoric for this guy so that he can receive it.
Yeah.
And that made me really frustrated. Then when I had the conversation with him, no real feedback or anything anything I could really take away from it, except for the fact that, look, you were hired. I said, I was hired to build like a data center and to really do business development stuff. And I wasn't able to do that. So what should I do and focus on going into 2023? And the answer was project management.
Yeah. It's not really what you wanted, and it wasn't what was explained to you. It wasn't on your job description.
It wasn't on anything. And I felt so blindsided.
Yeah.
And it just, all I could think about was the inefficiencies in a company and me having to send out emails, schedule meetings, and be this, not to say like, I think project managing is really important, but in the context of what they wanted me to do, it was a lot about just like operational logistics, like setting things up.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's what I want to spend my time doing.
Yeah.
And so I was really frustrated that that's what I was being judged on this entire time without anyone telling me. Then come to find, he's not my manager. The supposed temp manager is not my manager in the system. It's some dude I've never met, never worked with, never spoken to, hasn't reached out to me. And the only reason why I knew was because I went into the system to try to contest my performance review.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I set up a time with this guy, and he was like, oh, I thought the temp manager was your real manager. And I didn't tell you this part. And then he was like asking her and whatever. Basically, he's still my manager, but he's not really.
Yeah, you don't know who it is.
And the temp manager is supposed to be my real manager, but it's going to take some time to be official in the system.
Oh.
And her job, now that she feels like she's filling in for my manager and getting promoted, my job is to do everything she doesn't want to do.
Yeah. Which, yeah, it's really unfair.
That not only includes now setting up meetings and recaps and reformatting PowerPoints, but it also includes party planning and like an HR role kind of. And if this is what I signed, like if this was what I was hired, someone told me this is my job, I would do it. And I would know that it's on me.
Yeah.
That's not what I was hired to do. None of this is.
Yeah.
Everything else is being taken away from me. And last night I had a thought, which is like, I realize why my mood hasn't been, like I haven't been myself recently. And it's because it takes so much time and mental energy out of me to accept that this is my role and accept that this is the time I'm spending and that I'm not going to make an impact the way I wanted to. And I'm not going to.
And the way you were told that you were going to.
The way I was told I was going to, and add value the way I was told I was going to. And by the time I'm like numb to it again, I don't have the energy to socialize or be happy and do my hobbies and talk to people the way I used to, because I'm just so drained from going like from being worked up and then having to calm myself back down again.
Yeah, I think that's so fair, especially because like your 9-to-5 corporate job takes up so much of your life, right? Like you're working like so over, I don't know what the split is, but like so much of like your time being awake is working. And so in the off time when you're not actually working, you're probably thinking about the next time you have to go into work.
Yes.
And so it's never a good feeling. You're either working and you're upset that you're working, or you're not working. You're like just dreading having to go back. Like at a much smaller scale, if I'm ever working on a project that I don't like, I don't feel like I'm doing a good job, like I'm not feeling great. Like it's like, oh God, like I really don't want to be doing this right now. And it really dampens your entire like being.
It does.
Yeah.
And it's not even about making my work my only passion.
Right.
And it's just about having some interest in it, and I have none.
You want the bare minimum for your job, and you're not really getting that.
And then the downtime that I do have, I have to spend it, including the weekends, thinking about how I want to massage my message to the higher ups so that they will receive my message and hear my feedback. But that isn't going anywhere either.
Yeah.
And then I have to think about, okay, how strategize, who else I can talk to, what else I can do. And it's
exhausting.
Yeah, because I don't think all of this time and energy could have been put into something that I know could have made an impact. And instead I have to play these games, and I'm so tired. Like, my dad always tells me that this is part of working in a
corporate environment.
Yeah, that you have to play the game. And in my head, I just don't understand why, when you can be making an impact with the actual work you're doing, why is everyone enjoying doing this instead?
I think it's a very like Gen X or boomer like generation point of view or perspective on work. And I really feel like as Gen Z is like entering the workforce, not that we're Gen Z, but as Gen Z is starting to enter the workforce, like we're just like not really taking any of it anymore. It's sort of just like, we know what we want, we know what we deserve, and I'm not going to sit back and hate my 9-to-5 anymore. Like our parents did. I'm not saying our parents hated their jobs, but like that's sort of the like your dad's explanation. And like, you know what? Just suck it up. Like this is the way the world works. Like we're kind of being like, it doesn't have to be the way the world works anymore, you know?
But do you think if you don't learn to play the corporate game that you won't ever be successful?
I don't know. I think I think it depends on like how old your upper leadership is, or like how tuned in your upper leadership is. Because if you have like a pretty like a much older like VP or SVP or whatever, like I think maybe being more defiant and like saying what you want, like maybe like won't really help you. And like you're gonna have to like really cater the way you've been like massaging the way that you say things. If your leadership is like younger and like really more receptive and like more empathetic, then I think maybe you being able to be like, this isn't fair, this isn't the way that like things should work, could actually work out in your favor. But at the end of the day, it's still a strategy that you have to make up and like have to like understand like how it works still either way.
And I think that's his point, because he was saying, even if you started a business, eventually you're going to become a corporation that people are going to work under, and the game's still there. You need to understand it.
Yeah.
And me being hot-headed, I was like, no, I'm going to change it. I'm going to do everything that I didn't, not do everything that I didn't like.
Yeah.
But I don't know. January has just been freaking insane.
Yeah. I feel like your dad is probably still right, like in today's world. I hope that your dad becomes more and more wrong over time. It's going to take it's going to take a long time to get to a place where people that are our age are like the CEOs of huge, of Amazons or of Googles and stuff like that. It's just going to take a lot longer for those mindsets to change. I don't know when it's going to happen.
And it sucks that we're kind of
in the
middle. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that there's just going to be, especially now, I saw this LinkedIn post and it was saying how like with all these layoffs, I think we're going to have a lot of really amazing new companies that sprout up because people are losing their jobs and they're going to like get more creative and like want to start their own businesses and stuff. And maybe we're those people, we're going to start our own business and stuff like that. So maybe we'll start seeing it faster.
Manifesting.
We're manifesting.
We are manifesting 2023 that things are going to change for us.
Yes.
And I think that's a lot of what I'm dealing with now. It's I'm not fully accepting that this is my role. Yes, this is my role at this company right now. While I channel my energy into finding something different. Just for the time being until we start our empire. And that's my solution. It's
good.
Like I'm not accepting all these things, but I'm doing it because I need a job and I need health insurance and everything that comes with having a job. But I am really going to shift my focus and do something to change my situation.
Yeah.
It was okay for me, I think, to kind of just sit in my own tears because there were times when I was just breaking down. I was telling Emily, like last night, I was driving my parents back from the airport crying. Yeah. Couldn't see because my tears were blinding me, but it was good. Yeah. It was a good way to release and
Gotta
reset.
wallow.
Yes.
Gotta wallow a bit. Yeah.
And then be like, okay, how am I going to change my situation? Yeah. Obviously, it sucks that I'm looking for a job now while all these layoffs are happening because it's really hard to feel hopeful that my situation is going to change anytime soon. But if I just continue to cry, I think I'm going to lose it.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to have like a healthy balance of letting it out and then also like being productive with your time and saying like, okay, like how am I actually going to get out of this hole? But I think you're doing a good job. I think you have the right mindset. Like you can't just quiet quit, right?
Yes.
Like you have to like, I don't think that's a very like respectful like response to the situation. I think continuing to show up and like do your job to the best that you can is only going to help your relationship to the company afterwards and like any sort of like recommendations that you might get. Like I think you're doing the best you can.
Yeah. And I think quietly quitting only hurts you because nobody else knows what's going on.
Yeah.
So
you never want to leave a workplace with like them having a bad taste in their mouth of you. Like that's just never the solution. And as hard as it is, because you want to just like rage quit and like just be upset and say everything that's on your mind, like it's never gonna really help you in the end.
I think a mindset I always have is like they're gonna crumble without me, but that's not true. I can't really think like that. And it is a lot harder when you live alone to get out of the funk or to like feel like you have a life outside of this misery, which is why I think I tell you a lot of things that happen too. And we're like talking about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
It is really hard to get out of the funk, like when you're like this. And so I don't know. A lot of it is forcing myself to go to the office because I do love the people. Yeah. Or go on a walk. Just really simple things that feel like big wins.
Yeah, that's true. I think it's good that you're going in more and more.
Thanks.
I'm going to be going in too.
I know. Look at us.
4 days.
Although it is sometimes fun to go into the office because I feel like I sit inside a store where I'm shopping. I'm looking at the clothes and the shoes. And then when we have sample season.
Yeah, that's nice.
I get free clothes.
There's always perks.
And shoes. So yeah, it's not terrible.
You have to look at it. Like it's all the perspective, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we've kind of covered everything under the sun.
Yes, of the last month. Yes.
It's been an hour and a half. We talked about your proposal. Share your ring again. I tried Emily's ring on my pinky, but before it was on my right. What's this finger called?
The ring finger.
The ring finger, right ring finger. And I said yes. She didn't even ask me, and she just put it on. I said yes while she was putting it on. We talked about my embarrassing stalking story.
Blocking. We talked about blocking your ex. We talked about just work,
playing the corporate game. And I don't know.
I think that we had a lot to catch up on. I'm glad that we were able to chat and share kind of what's been going on. And
you know what? I'm glad we got to recap the end of 2022.
Yeah.
Because now we can focus on 2023.
Yes!
We are so lucky.
Everything works out for us. We're so lucky. Everything works out for us.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video or the next episode.